Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen and my channel. My name is Lori, the Frugal Mom. If you're new here, my content focuses around homemaking, frugal living, having an abundant life on a low income, frugal cooking, food pantry, blessings, all things being mom, all things midlife for us ladies, dealing with chronic illnesses with grace, and basically a little bit of everything. I keep it real with y'all. Lots of frugal cooking though, and homemaking. So it's been a minute since I've made a video for my collaboration with Candance Brewer, or Beans Every Day, or Everyday Beans, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, collaboration. And that's because I was having a fibromyalgia flare about a week ago, and it took a while for me to feel well enough to really do anything, to be honest with you. But I'm feeling much better now, and tonight's video is going to focus on 2 delicious bean recipes that are used as snacks. So the first one is roasted chickpeas. Now both of these recipes will use chickpeas. One of them, you probably or may not realize that chickpeas are the main ingredient. However, the roasted chickpeas kind of gives it away. So it's a very easy recipe. I make mine in the air fryer. You're going to preheat your air fryer to 400, and you're going to start at 10 minutes. Halfway through, you're going to toss them around so they don't burn, and you're going to just need a few simple ingredients. You're going to use 1 can of garbanzo beans, chickpeas, same difference, interchangeable terms. You're going to drain them and rinse them really well. You don't want any of that stuff that's in the can on them. Or if you have dried ones, you can use the dried ones. You're just going to use 2 cups once they're rehydrated and whatnot. So you'll use 1 can of those. You're going to want to dry them, and I'll show you mine in a minute. And I like to take the skins off. It's very easy to do. You just basically put the garbanzo bean in between your index finger and your thumb and kind of just slough it off like that. And I'll show you the pile of them. I like to do that because they kind of burn, and it doesn't have a nice mouth feel when you're eating them. And I like to do that for the second recipe as well. So here's what you're going to need. About a tablespoon of olive oil, or you could use avocado as well. I'm going to keep it simple with my seasonings. You can use whatever you like. I've used lots of different mixes. You can also make them sweet. To make them sweet, you would use sugar or a sugar substitute and maybe some cinnamon. So I'm choosing to use some garlic powder, some table salt, and a little bit of ground pepper. And oh yeah, I don't want to forget this, a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, because this is a good way to add protein to an already protein-packed snack. And this is perfect for a snack and for a salad topping as well. So let me show you what they look like when they're rinsed and the peels are off. Here's 1 can of the chickpeas with the skins off. It took me about 10 minutes to do that, not too long. You might be able to do it a little bit faster. And I made sure that I dried them. If you don't dry them, they'll just be a little bit mushy. It'll take longer for them to crisp up, and you don't want to burn them. To give you an example, that's where I put the pile of chickpeas when I was taking the skins off, and you can see like how wet, how much water came out of them. And there's all the skins. So all I'm going to do now is transfer these to my air fryer basket and season them, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So here are our chickpeas in my air fryer basket once I've seasoned them. Now I don't want to over season them, and I can always add more afterwards. It's important to use a little bit of moderation, because you can always add but you can't take out if you've made it too salty or peppery. So my air fryer is a larger model. It's in Instapot brand Omni Plus actually, and it's kind of like the size of a convection oven. It's great. You can do a number of things with it. So this way I can make large batches of things and have like a backup, because it's a multi-function. So if I need to bake something like a side or like brownies or something, I can do that. So I'm waiting for the air fryer to preheat, and then I'm going to pop them in for 10 minutes. So our chickpeas are roasting, in my air fryer. They got about 9 more minutes left, and I figured that I would introduce the next recipe. So some people aren't aware that hummus is made from the humble chickpea. Yep, it is. It's mostly hummus. Some people add tahini. I'm not going to do that today. I don't have any on hand. And tahini tends to be a little bit expensive. Tahini is a sesame paste, if you're not aware. So that's all it is, really. It's 2 cans of chickpeas, or again, you can use dried. You'd use 4 cups. And salt, a dash of cumin, about 1/4 teaspoon, and 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And then we're gonna reserve 2 tablespoons because we might not need as much, but usually it ends up being about 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1/2 of a juice lemon. I don't have any fresh lemons today, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of real lemon juice that I keep in my fridge. I'm gonna use about 1/4 of a cup, maybe less, we'll see. And if you don't have the right consistency, you can reserve some of that chickpea liquid and we can add it to make it even smoother. Now, you don't really need the tahini, I'm telling you. It comes out nice and smooth and it doesn't last long at all. My favorite flavor, comes in many flavors and you can add just about anything to it, is roasted red peppers. So we're going to add about 1/2 cup of roasted red pepper from this jar. I always like to keep jarred roasted red pepper in the house. It's so good in a variety of things, from salads, chicken with balsamic, and some fresh mozzarella. Can't beat fresh roasted red peppers. Well, these aren't fresh, but you guys know what I mean. So I have already got my chickpeas in the colander draining, and I'm going to go and grab my my Ninja smoothie. It's a blender, but it works very much like a food processor. I have a food processor too, but you know what? I'm feeling a little bit lazy and I don't want to dig it out. So I'm gonna go get that already and I'll be right back. So here are our roasted chickpeas, about halfway through their 10-minute cooking time. You might need to add a few minutes depending on how crispy you want them, but I always start at 10 minutes. So they're looking nice and brown. They're starting to get a little bit of crust on them. They smell great. We're gonna let them go for another 5 minutes. Hey guys, so I've got my chickpeas in my blender, and to that I'm going to add 1 nice big clove of garlic. If I don't feel it's garlicky enough, I can add another one. I'm gonna chop this one in half because it is so big. Though I know that the blenders of this big beast, the Ninja, will be just fine. I am going to add my 1/4 cup of real lemon juice. So it's crazy to me that something so simple that takes so long is so delicious and so nutritious at the same time. So there's our juice. And what am I doing? Look at this. Oh my goodness, there's the right cap. This is real life, guys. Alright, so I am going to add our spices, our chili powder, and our cumin. I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon, or 1/2 teaspoon rather, of chili powder. And I'm going to do just a pinch of cumin because sometimes that could be a little overpowering. And like I said earlier, you could always add more. So I'm going to use the 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm not going to fill it all the way up. If you like more, that's cool. So see, that's what I'm going to use. And I don't like things too salty, so I'm just going to add about a pinch. I need to refill my salt container. I washed it when I got this new refill, so that's about how much salt I'll put in for now. Alright, and then I will add some roasted red peppers. I'm going to grab a fork. I thought I did already, but I guess not. Okay. Alright. I want to impart a nice strong pepper flavor because I love it. Well, there's a huge piece. I don't want to quite do that. Let's see. Oh goodness. It's playing with me now, guys. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see if I can find a smaller piece. Watch that be the piece, right? Of course it is. Well, I'm just going to use my fingers because it's my house, my family, and I know that my hands are clean. And I'm just going to break it in half. So I've added about 4 pieces that big. And again, you can always add more afterwards. I'm just going to rinse my hands because I know that they're not dirty. Alright, so I'm going to put my top on and get ready for the noise, y'all. A side view of what it looks like. There's everything in there. I haven't added any olive oil yet, but I'm going to as soon as I get this all pulsed up. I'm going to start slow. Let's see, smoothie bowl bread chopped dough. I'm going to use it on the smoothie speed. So let's go. There it goes, y'all. It looks like it needs some of that olive oil. Guys, I think it's ready. I added another piece of roasted red pepper to it, another drop of oil, a little bit of the liquid from the chickpea can, and another dash of salt. I think it's perfect now. Let's see. Look at that, it's beautiful. Okay guys, our roasted chickpeas just came out of the air fryer. They are beautiful. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see them. I apologize, the light's not so great here over on this side of the kitchen, but I'm going to give them a taste test and we'll see what I think. Here we have our hummus. There's a little bit more in the blender. I need to get another container, but this is incredible how little this costs compared to its store-made counterpart. It's crazy. I'll tell you that in just a sec. Okay, so let's give these a try, shall we? My chickpeas are right down here. I'm just gonna take a few of them. And I showed you them before, but that's what they look like. They're nice and hard, I can feel them. They still have a little bit of moistness inside, which is nice. You can cook them a little bit more if you want them completely dried out like a crouton. That's good. I would add a little bit more seasoning to zip it up, but they're good just like they are. Perfect on top of a salad, perfect as just a snack. Put a little bag of them in your bag when you're out. Just some healthy, high protein snacking. Can't beat that. And a can of chickpeas at my local Aldi right now are just 55 cents. So that was 55 cents plus all the pantry items that I had in my house already. And that's a good 2 cups worth. So you can't beat that for a frugal snack. Fast too. Didn't take that long. And even faster was the hummus. Now hummus you can serve with vegetables. I like to serve it with carrot sticks, celery. My favorite thing is cucumbers or zucchini slices, or just on a cracker. So let me get some up on this cracker. I'm gonna have to use my spatula here. I've made this before plenty of times and it is always delicious. Look at how nice and thick that is. It holds on the cracker. And it'll taste even better once it's been in the fridge for a few hours and the flavors have melded. This to me was even better than any of the store brands with tahini. It's creamy, it's got a nice balanced flavor. You could always change up the seasonings a little bit if you wanted, but this is good. And to give you an idea, this is about 2 cups. Okay, and I've got another, I would say half a cup in there, maybe a cup. 3 cups of hummus, roasted red pepper hummus. I'll break down the price for you. So, like I said, the chickpeas are about 50 cents a can, and oftentimes the food pantry will give them to me so I don't pay anything for them at all. But I always like to keep a couple cans because as an Italian, that's always part of our antipasto. Nice rinsed cold chickpeas is what we call them. So 3 cans at $1.50. And then these, I will usually buy these when they're on sale, or I'll get them at Aldi, and they're under $2 for this size jar. Or you can make your own if you have red peppers in the house. So that with the pantry items, which I usually will keep chili powder. We make chili quite a bit, and cumin, and salt, and olive oil is something that I usually have. If you don't have olive oil, feel free to use avocado oil, or even canola oil if that's what you like and you have. And let's see what else. Nutritional yeast, as somebody with nutritional issues, I always keep that in the house. That is a little bit pricey. I only buy it once or twice a year, and the brand that I buy is about $7 for about this size. This is, let's see, this is 3.6 ounces, although it looks like it's more. It looks like it's 15 ounces. What do I know? So if I were to buy this pre-made, this much hummus in the store, it would probably be almost $10. So I made it for what, $3 or $4, and this is the serving size you want is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. So that would go a long way. This would probably last a family of 4 like mine, about a week. Not all of us like it though. My sister and I like it quite a bit, so we snack on it at night when we get like again for something. And chickpeas are really good for you. They are a powerhouse of nutrition, full of folate, fiber, magnesium, and iron. So you can't beat that at all for a small amount of money, you know? Why spend $7 for half this amount or 3/4 this amount if you are not going to get your bang for your buck? So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this recipe. Please head on over to Candy's channel and see what she's cooking up in her kitchen for this collaboration. I'm sure it's something delicious. And tell me if you like hummus. What flavor do you like? Have you ever had roasted chickpeas? I enjoy seeing you guys in the comments. I always like our interactions. And as always, I am sending love from New Jersey. And please like, share, and subscribe. Bye guys.